4 a.m. First Fruits. This is a chapter by chapter Bible study series, and we are on Job chapter 4. Job finally broke his silence after the long time of silence and mourning, sitting alongside his friends in the ashes. He basically cursed the day he was born. He wondered what the purpose of life was and wished that he was not alive anymore. The last line says, "I cannot relax or be calm. I have no rest, for turmoil has come." No peace from God right now. Now that Job has spoken, Job's friends can now speak. And boy, do they start yapping. The first friend we hear from, his name is Eliphaz. And this is what he says in chapter 4. Then Eliphaz, the Temanite, replied, "Should anyone try to speak with you when you are exhausted? Yet who can keep from speaking? Indeed, you have instructed many and have strengthened weak hands. Your words have steadied the one who was stumbling and braced the knees that were buckling. But now that this has happened to you, you have become exhausted. It strikes you and you are dismayed. Isn't your piety your confidence?" I mean, he is very eager to speak. Very eager. Eliphaz is reminding Job of how he has comforted and encouraged other people, and basically telling him, why aren't you encouraged? Encourage yourself. Apply that same piety in your own situation. And the integrity of your life, your hope? No, our hope is in God only. I'm not hating on Eliphaz though, because I was reading this speech and I was thinking in my head, how many times have I said something similar? Know it all. Verse 7, "Consider who has perished when he was innocent. Where have the honest been destroyed? In my experience, those who plow injustice and those who sow trouble reap the same. They perish at a single blast from God and come to an end by the breath of his nostrils. The lion may roar and the fierce lion growl, but the teeth of young lions are broken. The strong lion, if it catches no prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered." Eliphaz is basically saying that Job brought this upon himself in some form of fashion of a hidden sin. Eliphaz sounds very confident in his speech here, like he knows exactly what God's doing. In verse 12, he then goes on to say, "A word was brought to me in secret. My ears caught a whisper of it. Among unsettling thoughts from visions in the night, when deep sleep comes over men, fear and trembling came over me and made all my bones shake. I felt a draft on my face and the hair on my body stood up. A figure stood there, but I could not recognize its appearance. A form loomed before my eyes. I heard a whispering voice." Who said that? You're telling me Eliphaz was visited by a spiritual being? No wonder he is feeling so confident right now. "I heard a whispering voice. Can a mortal be righteous before God? Can a man be more pure than his maker? If God puts no trust in his servants and he charges his angels with foolishness, how much more those who dwell in clay houses?" NLT says people made of clay. "Whose foundation is in the dust, who are crushed like a moth. They are smashed to pieces from dawn till dusk. They perish forever while no one notices. Are their tent cords not pulled up? They die without wisdom." So this spirit just pops up and lays out all these rhetorical questions to Eliphaz, not really requiring a response, yet everything that it is saying is setting up some red flags for me. The spirit's message has some truth in it, but the fact that Eliphaz is using the same situation to appeal to Job is flawed. This is not for Job. He gets rebuked later on by God, but what kind of messenger was this? The trembling, the fear, the hair standing up on. This spirit doesn't tell you where it has come from. Source remains unnamed. Whereas anytime an angel of God appears in the Bible, the angel says, "Do not be afraid." They don't want to scare you. They're just big and awesome. And they always explicitly identify themselves, like, "Hey, God sent me here to da 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 da." Now let's get to the content of what this spirit is saying. This spirit is describing God as having no confidence in his creation, despising humans, basically, charging even angels with error. dark and it's demoralizing. They perish forever and no one notices. Anytime content is delivered from an angel of God, it is always encouraging or instructional. It's uplifting. I mean, even God has angels send food to Elijah when he was completely dismayed. They were sent for good and to help lead people to salvation, not deliver demoralizing messages. This visitation led Eliphaz to falsely accuse Job. Imagine you have just felt utter despair and you're sitting there, you finally just talk about how you wish you were not even born, and your friend says, well, you probably did it to yourself. The whole nature of it is almost like it was to implant accusations towards Job in the midst of already discouragement. You ever been in a discouraging place in your life and you have people that in your life where you can tell the enemy is using them to discourage you that much more? Messages from God offer conviction and correction, repentance, a chance for change, a place of love and life. We have to carefully discern spiritual experiences. I mean, if we deny that spiritual experiences aren't a thing, are we in a hole in the ground? That was a rhetorical question. Although that the Spirit delivered some half-truth, we have to compare it with God's character, who he is. If we didn't know about the other angels in the Bible and what they were like and how they spoke, we wouldn't be able to compare this Spirit with anything of God. That's why we need to know the Word. We have to be justice and mercy focused, not condemnation and accusation, especially towards our brothers and sisters who are just in a place. You ever heard that saying, read the room? This whole book of Job is a challenge to the principle of retribution justice. Basically, you always get what you deserve every time, good or bad. And that is a simplistic view of the cosmos. We should have learned that from reading the prologue. We have a limit of human wisdom. Eliphaz's speech is presented well, but it's flawed because he has no idea what's going on. We have such a need for discernment, especially as things in the spiritual world seem to get more evident. And the moral of the story is suffering can sometimes just be a mystery of God. And that's okay, because we all know that good comes from it for those who love him, are called according to his will. Thank you for watching this 4 a.m. and I'll see you in the next 4 a.m. when we cover Job chapter 5.